This is Other Voices. We're listening to varied views from local people who otherwise might not be heard. I'm Melissa Hale Spencer, editor of the Altamont Enterprise, talking to three Berne-Knox-Westerlo students, twins Evan and Lena Thomas, both 13 and both in 8th grade, and their 11-year-old sister Clara Thomas, a 6th grader. They are talking from their Berne home about what their days are like without school. After 1 week without classes, the thrill of sleeping in has given way to missing friends, teachers, and school routines. I was observing social distance, recording this from the front porch of the Enterprise, so you'll hear some passing traffic as we talk. I'd just like to hear a little bit from each of you about what it is you are missing most. You've been home from school for a week now, like kids across the state. What is it that you're missing the most about being at school? Whoever wants to go first, just jump in.
Okay, Clara, I miss being able to talk to my teachers and like my friends and just try to understand it the most and be in like a classroom environment. Yeah,
that's hard for all of us, isn't it? Just being apart all day. What about either Evan or Lena? What do you miss the most?
This is Evan. What I miss the most is kind of like the atmosphere of the entire school, like like everyone talking in the cafeteria or the halls, I guess.
Yeah, it's got to be very strange when you're used to all being with your friends and now suddenly you're not. So how about you, Lena? What do you miss the most?
Probably having a set schedule that I'm forced to follow, because it's very hard to do schoolwork when I technically don't have to do the schoolwork right then and there. So I miss having a set schedule for it.
Yeah, that's true. We're all without schedules now. It's got to be sort of self-motivated. So just give us an idea of what your days have been like. Maybe walk us through a typical day. You no longer get on the school bus or arrive at school. What do you sleep in? Just one of you just walk us through a typical day of what it's been like being at home.
Okay, this is Clara, and so I normally start up the day by waking up at like 8 o'clock or earlier or later. It doesn't, but normally 8 o'clock. Then I normally get ready, like brush my teeth, eat breakfast, take a shower if I have to. Then I normally do some schoolwork, about an hour or two of schoolwork, and then I take a break, and then I do some more. It's really just break schoolwork, and then at like 2:30, which is when I normally get out of school, I normally allow myself to do the things that I would, like play on my phone more and just like socialize with my friends.
Yeah, that sounds not bad at all. You're still, so any of you can chime in here. How is it that you're doing your schoolwork? What has BKW set up? Do you have constant contact through like Chromebooks with your teachers, or do you have email, or how does your schoolwork, how do you intersect? Go ahead.
We've been using our phones for Google Classroom and Remind and stuff like that. This is Lena. We've been using our phones and just our computers at home to connect with teachers and get schoolwork done, which has changed a little bit, but it's mostly the same.
Well, so do you have like specific assignments, just as you would if you were at school? Or do you have like more general questions and leeway? Like, does your teacher say, here's what you're going to be doing today? Or do you have like kind of more choice among the things you pick and choose?
This is Evan, and I would say I believe like almost all the teachers know that some students travel a lot, and so they'll generally make it a little bit more flexible. So all the teachers, I don't think, will make any work due the next day.
What's been happening is that work has been usually set at the due date of Sunday, and it's more like repeated homework assignments that are given early in the day on like Monday or Tuesday.
So I just got a release this morning that the Board of Regents has suspended testing, because schools are just finding it hard to, administer things the way they usually do. Do you feel like you're learning more or less or just differently than you did before? Do you have any sense of that?
This is Clara. It feels like for my class, we're doing a lot of review than like other than new lessons. So we're doing a lot of review. So I feel like I am learning less, but sometimes we will get a new lesson. So it's really just how the day is going.
This is Lena. Until my teachers can figure out how to operate a classroom online for like maybe a live streaming or something, it's mostly stuff that we've already learned or topics that we were going over, because it's hard to learn new topics when you have to do it all by yourself with no exclamation from people. I can't speak.
No, you spoke very well. Without explanation, it's hard for anybody to learn. So, are there times that you're, like, let's say, because, Lena, you're learning the guitar, or Evan, because you do a lot with, online gaming and things. Are there times when you can pursue your own interests more? I don't know how Clara could be doing acting without a group, but, do you feel like you have more time to pursue some of your own interests or things that you want to practice or learn? Does that fit into your day?
Yeah, typically Evan and I are definitely not as productive as Clara, because both of us don't get up until 10 most days.
Well, that's because you're teenagers, and all the science shows that teenagers are supposed to get more sleep. How old are you, Clara? I'm sorry, you're not quite a teenager, right? You're 11?
In 6th grade, yeah, I'm 11.
Yeah, okay. Well, so that's good, Lena, that you and Evan are sleeping in, and Clara's getting up early and just working away.
Evan and I don't do... I can't speak for Evan for this, actually. This is I try and do my homework as soon as I can, which usually is like 2 hours after I wake up, so not that soon. But I usually do stuff in my own interest before I do anything else.
This is Evan. I'll generally check the online classes and see if the teachers have posted any work every now and then. If they have, I'll do that and just keep checking, I guess.
So tell us all a little more about socializing. I know I've talked to other school superintendents, not yours, but some are worried that kids are, you want to see your friends, and kids are getting together. The governor even had a press conference yesterday, deriding the kids on spring break that are partying together because it can spread this virus. How are you able to stay in touch with your friends if you're not physically together? What kinds of things are you doing that way?
Well, I'm not seeing and talking to my friends as much as I used to when we had school, but I do this is Clara. I do video call my friends a lot, and I text them, and we talk at least once a day, just to make sure that we're just keeping our friendship.
This is Lena, and about my group chat with my friends is about as active as it was during school, but a group of friends and I have found that video chatting will probably be a thing in the foreseeable future, because we wanted to have a D&D session, but we can't because we're not allowed to be together.
I don't even know what is a D&D session. Oh. Oh, okay. I do know that. I didn't know the initials. Okay. Yeah, well, so are you feeling any, like, psychological effects from this? I mean, are you feeling lonely or depressed? Or you have each other, right? How is that working out, having the three of you together? Are you getting closer, or is it getting harder to be with each other all the time?
I mean, since we're all in the same house, we can't leave our house like a lot. Like we can't go out and go shopping or hang out with friends. So we have definitely gotten closer, just because we're spending so much time together.
I wouldn't put it like that. I would put it as I'm forced to hang out with both of them, and I'm not becoming emotionally
So edgy.
bonding with either of them more than I was before. I don't know.
Okay. I was hoping it might be like, in the era of Little Women. Did any of you read that? Those sisters were together all the time because they were isolated just the way they lived, and they'd put on plays together and they'd do all kinds of, creative fun things. But is that something that might be happening or no?
I mean, we've always been pretty close. So, like, since we've always had like if we ever needed help, then we're always like there. Like, and we don't really hide stuff from each other. Mm-hmm. But so with us in like isolated away from the rest of the outside world, we're not being super close to each other, but nothing really has changed between us since, like,
We don't really do activities together, but
we hang out.
We acknowledge each other's presence.
I mean, this is Evan. Yesterday I was listening to Lena playing the guitar.
So that was a thing that could have gotten us closer, I guess.
So also, I'm wondering if it might make you closer to your parents when you're at your father's house, or your grandparents too when you're at your mother's house. Are there like intergenerational reactions more than there were before when you were at school all day rather than being home? How is that playing out?
So this is Clara. I feel like I'm hanging out more with my parents than like how I used to, because because I used to be at play practice for a lot, so I'd stay home. I wouldn't get out of school until 5:00.
Oh, Clara, I want to hear the rest of your answer, but were you one of the people that was in Flapper? Were you in that play?
Yeah, I was in that play.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry that got canceled. I want to get back to your answer, but I just wonder what that was like for you in the cast when you'd done all that rehearsing and all that work and then there was no play. How did people feel about that?
It was really disappointing. I know my friend Brandon was really sad about it, and we were really upset. We cried a little bit just because we had put so much effort and work into it.
Yeah.
But, I mean,
yeah. Clara, you were answering another question, and I took you off the track because I wanted to hear about the play. It looked like such a neat play, and it must have been very disappointing. But could you just pick up your thread where I interrupted you? I'm sorry.
It's okay. So I wouldn't get home until like 5:30, and so I never really got, and of course after I got home, I had to do like homework, and then I had to shower and get ready for bed and stuff like that. I need dinner. So I never really had a lot of time to talk with my parents or grandparents on the weekdays. But now that of course the play is canceled and school has been canceled for a few weeks, it's like I have more time to talk to them, and I can spend more time like hanging out with them. So I feel like I'm like closer to them.
Well, that's a good thing. Do you, Lena and Evan, have similar feelings?
Yeah, I'd say that.
Yeah. My mom and my dad are gonna be the ones teaching me how to play the guitar, or teaching me more than I am learning by myself. So, I mean, I'll get closer to them and be able to talk to them more, which will be cool.
Yeah, that will be cool. And I wonder, too, so many kids are feeling trapped inside, and I've been to your home in Berne, and I just think it's such... You have the pond and all that land, and I'm wondering, maybe it's a little cold yet, but if you're doing more outdoor activities, because you're in a place where you can be out, like here I am sitting in Altamont, and people are walking by 6 feet apart, they can't be near each other, and I'm just wondering when you don't have to worry about running into people if you're doing more outdoor activities.
This is Clara. It's been really cold, so we haven't gone outside a lot, but today it's like 75 degrees, and I've been outside all day.
I have not been outside once since this happened, but that's also because it's been cold and I'm too lazy to run around. But I probably will be outside after this because it's very warm and nice outside.
Yeah, well, you've got a beautiful place to be out. The thing, too, is... first it was for just a week. That was Albany County schools. Then the governor made his executive order that it would be 2 weeks. And just things that are coming in from the education department, it looks to me, some colleges have just sent kids home for the rest of the school year. If you're, going to be in this situation for the rest of the school year, what kind of thoughts do you have about that?
I feel like I like learning online better than I did in school because I was able to work at my own pace and I could do things like separately. But I don't want it to be shut down the entire year because just because I like seeing my friends and I liked being at school with my teachers and just learning like I could have like one-on-one time with them if I didn't understand it. So I don't want it to be shut down for the entire year, but it's a nice little break.
Yes, Evan and I, this is Lena, Evan and I are graduating from 8th grade from middle school to high school, so there's supposed to be like a coronation type of thing, I guess, which I'm sort of sad about missing. Yeah, and there's like trips and stuff that we might miss if it goes down. Also, I'm scared about Regents and state testing because I still want to take those to pass the grade, and I'm scared to do that.
It's not in 8th grade. You gotta tell me.
So are you in a Regents course this year in 8th grade?
I'm in advanced science.
I see, and that's a Regents credit. I see. Yeah, well, good for you. The Board of Regents hasn't really ruled on that. They haven't decided what they're going to do about those tests. But my advice would be, Lena, don't worry, because they'll figure it out, and, somehow you'll have a chance, I'm sure. But, yeah, the idea of not having a commencement ceremony, I just read in the New York Times yesterday, I went to Wellesley College, and they canceled their commencement ceremony, and the kids just quickly held their own because they felt so sad about not celebrating themselves. So maybe when school gets back to normal, even if it's next fall, maybe they'll have some kind of a, ceremony or resurrect whatever. Did you have a trip planned for your class that was supposed to be the end of this school year?
Actually, we all did. This is Lena.
Yeah.
Evan and I were supposed to go to The Great Escape, and I think that Clara was supposed to go to Zoom Flume or The Great Escape.
No,
one of the two.
I think we're all supposed to go to the same.
We're supposed to go to The Great Escape at the end of the year.
It's Great Escape or Zoom Flume.
Great Escape or Zoom Flume, one of the two. But we're supposed to go to a water park, so it's going to be sad to miss.
Yeah, all those amusement parks are shut down, but maybe they'll be open in the fall and you can just have a postponed celebration. Well, our time is rapidly running out, and this will be posted, and other kids might be listening in. Do you have any advice that you'd like to close out with, each of you, just on, advice for other kids or parents who might be listening about what is good about this or what might work that has worked for you? I loved hearing that you're learning more by doing it online. That's encouraging. And just take your time and each kind of reflect for a minute on what your advice might be.
So this is Clara, and I would say work at your divide your work into like days. So like if you have math one day, then do some math one day. Don't try to do everything in one day, or don't feel bad or don't do nothing one day. Try to separate all your work among all the days, so you're learning something every single day.
That sounds like great advice. Go ahead, Lena.
I would say for kids, if they're listening to this, to try and set like a loose schedule. Like it doesn't have to be time frames in a box about when you eat lunch and have time to do homework and stuff, but like just a vague thing of what you're gonna do each day, a vague idea. And I guess for parents, be patient with kids because we've never done this before. This is new for all of us. So we don't exactly know how it's going to work either.
I love that advice. Be patient. That is good for all of us. So, Evan, you have the final word. What is your advice?
Lena stole mine. I'm thinking.
Okay, well, you can reiterate it just in your own words. I think that would be fine. Was it the be patient part? Because you seem to me like a patient person.
I wanted to say, like, don't force, like, a really strict schedule upon your children, because, like Lena said, it's new for them, and
Nobody knows what's going on.
no one knows what's gonna happen, so, like, don't get hopes up or something like that. I don't know.
Well, that's good. I thank the three of you so much for sharing this, and I wish you lots of learning and lots of fun in the weeks at home ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you.